Hello, my name's Amanda Bate and I'm a homeopath practicing in Abbots Langley. For those of you who know me and wonder where I am, I'm sitting in my new house where I'm having an extension built, which is why it's an unusual background. I thought I'd do a short talk on how I'm going to approach the coronavirus, both as a homeopath treating patients and as an individual. My thanks to Robin Murphy for sharing his research and experience. Medical history has shown that homeopathy has been very successful for over 200 years in treating people suffering from colds, coughs, influenzas, bronchitis and pneumonia. For example, in 1813 there was a typhus epidemic, and when it reached Leipzig, Samuel Hahnemann treated 180 people using homeopathy. 2 died, which gives a mortality rate of less than 1%. Orthodox treatment at that time had a mortality rate of 30%. Nowadays, with antibiotics, the mortality rate is about 1%. If left untreated, then the mortality rate is 10 to 30%. In 1854, there was a cholera epidemic in London, and the source was traced to a water pipe which was shut down, and then the epidemic stopped. But there were 10,738 people died. The House of Commons asked for a report on the methods used. No homeopathic figures were included, and the House of Lords asked why. And it was admitted that the homeopathic figures would skew the results. Anyway, the report was unearthed, and what it said was that the mortality rate from orthodox treatment of the time was 59.2%. But the mortality rate from those who were treated homeopathically was 9%. Then in 1918 there was the Spanish flu pandemic. 24,000 cases treated allopathically. This is taken from records held in Ohio, in America. The allopathic mortality rate was 28.2%, and 26,000 cases were treated homeopathically, and the mortality rate was 1.05%. The coronavirus. Corona means crown, and so the virus is called the coronavirus because under a microscope the virus looks like a crown. Coronaviruses were first began to be isolated in 1937, and there's been 3 isolated in recent years. There's this one, and there's SARS, which stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, and MERS, which stands for Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. So there's a lot in the news about it, and people want to know, how deadly is it? Well, the World Health Organization is saying that 82% of people who get it will develop mild symptoms, 15% severe symptoms, and 3% will be critically ill. And the death rate appears to be low, 1 to 3%. To try and put it into perspective, annually 1 billion people get influenza, 290,000 to 650,000 deaths, which is 3%. And the severity of influenza varies from year to year. The medics hope to be doing vaccine trials on humans by the end of the year, and at present are also trying out antivirals to see if that's going to help. But what can we do for ourselves using homeopathy and other natural approaches? Well, the symptoms of the coronavirus will begin like a flu, a cough and a cold. So there'll be cold symptoms, coughs, and then the general symptoms that we get with flu. So it'll be difficult to know if we've got a cold or if we've got the coronavirus. There'll be runny nose and maybe a fever. Obviously, follow the general advice of washing your hands, and if you sneeze or cough, cover up and again wash your hands. and try not to touch your face and spread the virus. And stay away from people because it is spread by droplet infection. So I would say, first of all, increase your fruit and veg intake and ditch the sugar and processed foods. Increase your water intake and get fresh air every day. I would begin, and I am for myself, increasing my vitamin C. Vitamin C is naturally antiviral, and we use it to help cure ourselves when we're not very well. So you could increase this by having warm, freshly made lemon, honey and ginger drinks, drinking turmeric tea, holy basil tea, and using garlic. Elderberry tonic, well, I don't know why I haven't ever used it before, because just look at the benefits listed for elderberry tonic. Antiviral properties. It alleviates coughs and colds, it supports the gastrointestinal tract, it boosts your immune system, it aids weight loss, it can help reduce blood pressure, it aids the removal of cholesterol from the body, and the clincher for me is that it reduces wrinkles and age spots. But seriously, it's rich in vitamin C, so it's a great tonic to get out there and buy. What about homeopathy? Well, those of you who know me will remember that I always say at the first sign of a cold, take aconite. It really does seem to, for many people, help to nip colds in the bud. So it stimulates the body to get on top of things. It's also a very good remedy for fear, and I think there's a lot of fear being spread about the coronavirus. Hepatic sulf. Use this remedy for the onset of sore throats. Gelsemium. Again, a lot of you will know that I always suggest gelsemium for when you have one of those heavy colds that makes you feel drowsy and lethargic. If your symptoms worsen, then you can nip along to the doctors, or you could phone me for a different remedy, because remember, in homeopathy we always match the remedy to the patient's symptoms. So could do all these natural approaches, but if it does you think it's getting worse, if there's any respiratory problems or pains in the chest or anything a bit more serious, then of course you'll nip along to your doctors. So I hope that's been very helpful, and I hope you stay well. Thank you. Oh, if you want to contact me, it's Amanda Bate Homeopath, and I can be found at amandabatehomeopath.co.uk. Thank you.